Welcome back to another video, guys, and today we're going to be taking a look at the best floors that Ring 2 has got to offer. Before I get started, I do want to ask you to please subscribe and like the video as well, because you guys know that stuff definitely feeds my ego, and my ego needs to be fed right now. So yeah, after the last video, Tower of Tokyo Heights, I want to see if I can maybe top that, see if I can do that, maybe get a fourth video that's reached 1k views. That'd be quite nice. But anyway, yeah, enjoy the video, and yeah, let me know what your favourite floors are in the comments down below, because I would like to hear that. I think it'd be very nice, and yeah, enjoy. For Tower of Phone Snapping, I'm gonna go with floor 10. I mean, it's kind of obvious why this is the best one. It's probably one of the best ways to introduce new players to things like final outsides, without babying them, obviously. It doesn't really offer any kind of safety net whatsoever. In fact, it really doesn't, unless you're at the last stage of the outside, you manage to fall to like the bottom of the outside. But yeah, still, there's no real safety net on this floor. So it's really good to like get beginners, introduced to stuff like final outsides, because they're going to go into them and they're going to think that everything's netted, or they're going to think it's going to be easy. But it's not, and I like how this tower sort of sheds light on that fact. And yeah, the floor's also very fun as well, because it's Tower of Phone Snapping and it's a newer Ring 2 tower. They did classic gameplay very well here, so yeah, very solid floor, very good. And as for Tower of Big Hole, it's got to be floor 8. This is the point when the stakes of this tower really ramp up and they create some of the most fun gameplay that the tower has actually seen up to that point. It's also another floor that really helps with your nerve control and, just boosting your skill in general. I think that's something this floor does really well, because of like the one studs and stuff, and also just the overall pressure of having the gameplay suspended above the big hole. I think that's also something that a lot of people overlook when they think of this tower. And it's really beneficial for a beginner's skill in general, so yeah, I'm going to have to say this is the best floor in the tower in terms of what it's able to do. I personally believe in the fact that none of the floors in Tower of Overcoming Hatred are very good at all. I mean, just look at this tower. First off, it near made it, and second off, everything in this tower is just pretty shit. I'm not even gonna lie. But floor 3 is the only floor that's at least kind of acceptable, I suppose. I mean, the transition through the extended frame is, I suppose it's kind of cool, and the gameplay's tolerable. It's also the only floor that allows you to skip like 40% of the tower, so yeah, there's that. It's an average floor, but it's the best of a bad bunch, basically. Floor 5 of Tower of Cold Hands might seem like a weird choice, but I do feel like this floor is more chilled and laid back than the rest of them. In fact, this is more of a break for, in my opinion. And the gameplay of Tower of Cold Hands is pretty poor, and it's also pretty hectic, so to get a floor like this is actually kind of a godsend, in a way. It's also a floor that's not afraid to try and make the gameplay flow well. Like, I just feel like this floor has got the best flowing gameplay out of most of the floors in the tower, especially when it transitions to floor 6. That's pretty good. And yeah, it's more than what you can say for a lot of towers. So yeah, it might seem weird how floor 5's the best in my opinion, but it kind of makes sense once you think about it a little bit more than what you normally would. So yeah, floor 5 is the best in this tower. I feel like the gameplay in floor 5 of JToH is perhaps the best of what that tower's actually done. It does initially intend to be a break floor, but even then it's got some interesting gameplay, such as the head hitter stuff, which, yeah, may seem like it's a little bit annoying, but it's actually, for this tower's time, it's actually pretty interesting what they managed to do with it. And afterwards, you're suddenly thrown into a softlock section, and you've also got to guess a path there, so, it's interesting to say the least. Yeah, and it might not be JToH's best gameplay, but it's definitely some of the more intriguing gameplay that this tower's got to offer, and I think a lot of the other floors in this tower purely rely on traps and stuff like that, and also just annoying game. Did I just say tour? Fucking hell. But yeah, and also just annoying gameplay that kind of ruins you a little bit. So yes, definitely not the best in JToH, but best this tower's got to offer. I think that we can all agree that while Tower of Traps is one of the worst and at least one of the most annoying towers in JToH, you've got to admit something like Floor 6 was very unique and cool for its time. It was almost revolutionary, actually, how this was able to be achieved back in 2018. But especially for JToH anyway. You know, there were some other games that had done much better than this, but for JToH this was good. The mechanics this floor uses and how it implements them is very creative and something that would have been amazing to see when this was created. There are also no traps that I can think of on this floor either, so that's just a bonus in itself, you know. No traps, fun gameplay, pretty cool stuff for 2018, you know. This is something that would have been much better than anything else any other tower could have done at this point, so yeah, you know, I'm actually impressed with Tower of Traps for being able to do this. Very good floor. Tower of Deep Darkness is one of those towers that you think is bad, but it actually turns out to be one of the most entertaining and enjoyable experiences of your JToH career. At least, that's my personal experience with this tower. Floor 6 is no exception to this, of course. This floor is way ahead of its time with a full-on street and forest design and a sewage system. The gameplay is also very surprisingly good here and is very forgiving besides the timer at the end. I don't know what that does, and I don't really want to, but I'm just going to go ahead and say this is a very good floor because, you know, what this managed to do was something that was very shocking for JToH players back at the point this was created, because the most recent thing that was out was Zone 1 when this was released. At least I'm pretty sure anyway. Yeah. So yeah, great floor. Tower of Shattered Dreams final floor is a very good final challenge for such a scary tower, and I feel like it wraps things up really well. The outside section is incredibly nerve-wracking, but it's necessary to achieve what it wants to achieve. And the inside section is a chaotic Killbrick Dodge Mania type of experience. I mean, you have to dodge this massive Killbrick flying throughout the entire floor. But then not only that, but you also have to somehow not die. Like, the gameplay in there is no joke either. It's actually pretty hard for considering there's a massive Killbrick flying at you. I mean, obviously I've fallen and died there a lot of times when I was first grinding this tower, but anyway, the point is, once you reach the win pad, you feel like you're truly deserving of it, which is why I think this floor's the best, because it makes you really feel like you've done well to achieve what you've achieved. Floor 1 of Tower of Table Flipping is perhaps the floor with some of the best classic gameplay in Ring 2, in my opinion. Obviously, I like this tower in general, but I feel like Floor 1 is just a really good way to start off the tower. The floor flows really well and manages to be a really fresh introduction to the tower, without making you want to throw your PC out of a window, which is something a lot of towers in this ring can make you want to do. It has some relatively decent jumps as well, and some stuff that's just very creative for its time. I mean, if you're just watching the footage right now, the gameplay just looks appealing, doesn't it? It just looks like something you'd want to play without wanting to absolutely go mental, and that's what I respect this tower for. Floor 9 of Tower of Eternal Suffering is a very good penultimate challenge, and I feel like this floor is very good because it's when things begin to ramp up, and this can make or break a tower in a lot of instances, and for this one it actually makes it. A lot of the gameplay on this floor is pretty unique and creative for its time, and I feel like the most effort is put into this floor than there is with any other floor onto this tower, to be honest. A lot of the gameplay here is actually pretty creative, and they actually do try a lot of new things here on this floor, and I feel like this is definitely where this tower goes from like being a more purist, like, you know, kind of annoying but kind of Tower of True Skill like tower to becoming really getting its own identity on this floor, which I also quite like. It's probably one of the most fair parts of the tower as well, believe it or not, and it's a very good skill booster. The insane / extreme floor of Tower of Difficulty chart, or well, floor 8, is definitely the most fun in my opinion. The mechanics and difficulty of this floor actually suit what they represent really well. A lot of people overlook this floor, but I feel like it really balances the insane and extreme difficulties actually very well, as they're both kind of considered the same thing by a lot of people. I don't actually know why. And but yet they're very different. And I like how this floor sort of sheds light on that, because it includes them together, but then it also really establishes a key identity between both difficulties that a lot of people don't seem to get. And it also manages to make both insane and extreme gameplay fit in really well with the rest of the tower. So yeah, I do actually appreciate what this floor is able to do, and it's definitely probably the most unique floor of the whole tower. So with that, I'm going to have to say this is the best floor. Floor 22 of Cows is so satisfying for me for some reason. A lot of the floors on this Citadel have really good gameplay and design, but I feel like this floor is really good at setting up the ultimate floors of the Citadel. There's also some key aspects of the gameplay on this floor that make it quite a formidable opponent for you, to be honest. Some jumps are going to take a lot of time to master properly, but thankfully there's a net on floor 21 that is right below you to keep you safe. And I feel like this really sets up like how ominous the last floors are going to be for you, and I really like how it does that, because it makes you think how big of an achievement that Cows really is. But anyway guys, I really hope that you enjoyed. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please subscribe to my channel and like and share. It would be very much appreciated. I would really like it if you subscribed. Especially, I love people that subscribe. But yeah, like and share. Do those other things too. It'd be very nice as well. And yeah, that's going to do it guys. I'll see you next time. I don't know how long I'll wait until I do another video on this series. I feel like I do a lot of videos I've done a lot of videos on this particular series. I want to give that a bit of a rest, but I might do one more. But I want to start off Garden of Ijol at least, and then we'll see how it goes from there. I think I might give it a bit of a break after that. But yeah, I'm enjoying making this series so far, and I'm very appreciative of how well my Tower of Tokyo Heights video did. I really like that. That video has done very well for me, and I'm very grateful for you guys for showing so much support on that video, and also sharing a lot of your experiences and comments on that video. I also like listening to those and reading those and seeing if you guys agree with me or if you don't agree with me. You've been very respectful in the comments, and I've been very happy about that. Even if you disagree, you know, you guys have been very respectful about it. So you know, I'm very happy about that, and I've also been interested in listening to those opinions as well, because some of them are quite interesting. And I do like listening to them. I like listening to your guys' feedback. But anyway, I've got to stop yapping. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.